Hey, it is Below Deck, Season 2, Episode 6, Strain, Stains, and a Big Pain. So, let's see, everybody goes out to the bar, Kat and Ben stay home to sleep, but really they flirt, get drunk, have masks. And I think they mess with everyone because, well, I'll get to that soon. Okay, so Janice is still flirting. She's sending out some really heavy mixed signals. Now, I am never a fan of sending out mixed signals anyway, so everything I'm saying, I'll say about Janice's episode is a general rule that I would have for anyone. Gay, straight, man, woman. So just to be clear up front, I'm not by any means intending that women should do this, but men get different rules. No, this is general rules, okay? So she wants to be near Kelly all the time, but she knows that he likes her, and so she's sending out some pretty big mixed signals. We hear about the Amy and Kat issue again, but not really. We hear that there was something that happened. We still don't know why. Eddie's still a little bit bitter. They go out drinking. These, I believe, Australian guys are hitting on him. And when the girls are like, okay, we need to go back to work, the guy's like, F you. And they're like, okay then. And they leave. And I'm thinking, so you're, and then he makes a whole bunch of, a long string of expletives about the women after they wander off. He doesn't seem that drunk, but that would be a good explanation for his completely inappropriate behavior because the girls are choosing to leave. They haven't promised anything. And so he cusses at them on camera. So I'm pretty sure this guy's really bummed because a clip like this with YouTube can be everywhere. So you know that after that episode aired, he's probably getting tons of flack from his friends. I haven't seen anything on Twitter to see if he responds. Anyway, they go back. They're like, what a bunch of jerks. And Eddie goes and repeats it to Kelly. Kelly goes running off to go confront the guys. The guy's like, dude, our friend, he's not starting anything. He's just drunk. Eddie grabs Kelly, comes back. Amy's crying. It's a big mess. I'm just like, they're not worth it. I agree with all the girls who are like, they're not worth it. They're totally not worth it. Just ignore them and be like, yeah, and this is why you don't randomly pick up jerks that you don't know at a bar. Anyway, the new guests come on. I guess one of them's a repeat. She had been friends with Adrian. I watched a little bit of last season, but not enough to really have a strong reaction to who this lady is, Adrian. I don't recognize the guest, obviously. So after everyone comes back from the bar, you hear Kat and Ben goofing off. You hear barking and stuff. I'm like, that has to be them making that up. It has to be them just goofing off and having a good time. I'm sure they did have sex. What I didn't put together until the end of the episode is this mystery stain shows up. I didn't get that Kat and Ben were in the master bedroom during this episode. I didn't get that until the end of the episode when they put the stain together with Kat and Ben. And I'm like, ooh, because I was like thinking, well, how do they, anyway, so there you go. So they hook up. Eddie's still mad about the deck crew being down one. They get to dinner, and I didn't know there was maritime law. I guess it makes sense that there's maritime law controlling how long people can work. It makes sense. I just always think of international waters as being like, woo, anything goes. But maybe they're not in international waters. Anyway, Kat has to go down for her break, which she's legally required by. And now here's the deal. Ben and Kate get into it about dinner and how it's being done. This is not the first time this season that we've seen Ben running slow on dinners because of his perfectionist streak, okay? But it also kind of like Kate dropped the ball. I'm going to put the blame solely on both of them, although I am becoming a huge Kate fan. I find her delightfully bitter and angry. Like, I find her just the right amount of judgmental and not getting involved. She's a little bit like over it all. And I love her for that. I'm actually really kind of digging her. I think she's a great addition to this crew. So Janice and Kelly have this whole thing. She is sending out such heavy mixed signals. I have a real problem. Let your yes be yes. Let your no be no. Let it be very clear. I think that is a nationwide discussion we're having about when women say yes and no. You have to say yes in order to mean yes, no versus no. I would always encourage everyone to be really clear. Don't ever say no when you mean yes and yes when you mean no. Be really clear. And she is being the opposite of clear. So he's like, can we talk? I kissed you and all that. And she's like, oh, well, we have all this great chemistry and I'd love to explore it, but your anger. Oh, and by the way, I have a boyfriend. So, like, she thinks, like, the answer is no because she's a boyfriend, but she's telling him every other way she's saying yes, and I have a real problem with confusing the issue. She really should be saying, you're a nice guy, but I'm not interested, and just leave it. It wouldn't make a very good show, but I feel like there's a nationwide discussion about women's right to say no to things, and this kind of stuff confuses it, although she's not responsible for the nationwide discussion on that. Anyway, I don't blame Kelly for having a hard time because she's sending really heavy mixed signals. Like, they have this discussion, he goes off to kind of lick his wounds, and then she's like following him around, and do you want a hug? And it's like, dude, no, you just said no, you're not interested in the guy. You kind of said that. Now let him be, let him get his space, let him get over it, let him heal. But it seems like, as he said, she wants her cake and eat it too. So she wants to have her boyfriend, and she still wants all the attention from Kelly. And that's just a problem. Anyway, the meal is a mess. The guest, Scott, is like, he comes down rambling. I understand the meal went bad, but he's like, blah, blah, blah. You have a job to do, and I'm not telling you how to do your job, but you're not doing it right, but we don't need anything. And I didn't really understand what his point was. He wasn't being very articulate, and he was pretty much being a jerk. Anyway, they all go, all the guests go to a bar, and Adrian's there. And I love Eddie's response, which is to turn around, get back in the water, and swim away. Because that is how I handle confrontation that I don't want to deal with. I have been known to drop and hit the floor and crawl behind things. I have been known to turn around mid-stride and run away. I am not the best with surprising me with confrontation. I do believe that my flight response for fight or flight is very high. So anyway, there you go. That's the episode. Tell me what you think. Do you agree with the Janice Kelly thing? Do you find Kate as delightfully bitchy as I do? Hit me up in the comments. I'll see you guys soon.